What's going on, boys? Welcome to the first life advice of the year. Starting off here with a cool little trick shot here in VR. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, first video in VR. Anyways, boys, so before this video gets started, I just want to say thank you all so much for the amazing support over the last month or so when it comes to the last life advice. It's pretty clear that some things happened. I'm going to mention those things really quickly. I'm still home for the holidays, so it still makes it a little difficult to record. And then also, it's like, I just want to be able to spend time with my family. Then also, my dog passed away, and I just needed some time to process all that. And then my internet died. My modem broke, right? And they couldn't come out for like 3 days to fix it, and it was a complete disaster. Anyways, enough of that. You guys don't need to hear about that. We're going to be jumping right into life advice. But before we get into life advice, I would absolutely appreciate it if you guys could go down there, hit that subscribe button, press that like button. That lets us know that you guys like these videos, and it lets me know that I should continue making these videos. Anyways, let's get right into it, boys. So this week, for week 13, which is absolutely crazy to think about, we're going to be talking about taking risks, which is partially why I picked the Resident Evil 4 VR for this video. We're going to talk about why that is a little bit later. I'm going to be telling you 2 personal experiences about taking risks, and then also I'm going to be telling you guys a little bit about how you should be taking those risks, not necessarily every single day, but just throughout your life. So number one, I will just say that VR was something that I was always a little nervous to try, partially because I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to really play it. I was worried with my depth perception issues and my overall eyesight issues. It was going to be a challenge. That wasn't until around this time last year. I tried my cousin's VR headset, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Finally invested in a Quest 2, and, you know, I've been absolutely in love with it. And that's why you guys are seeing some gameplay here of Resident Evil 4 VR, which, let me tell you, is absolutely incredible. I think that it's the perfect starter VR game. But overall, I just want to say that if you are afraid to try something, go for it. The worst thing that can happen is that you can fail. And in most cases, that fail is not that big of a deal, unless it's something risky like the stock market or changing jobs. That's not what we're talking about. That's a whole separate different risk category that we'll talk about a little later. But what the important thing is that if you simply sit complacent in your life, you're not going to grow. And, you know, that's sort of how I view this. It's sort of, you need to be able to step out of your comfort zone and try things. If you're not constantly trying new things, you're not constantly trying to grow, you're going to become complacent, and then there's really nothing that you can do at that point. You're going to feel like you've hit this sort of stalemate where you're not growing, you're not feeling like you're adapting to the world around you. You've simply gotten comfortable. And we talked about this a bit, that simply comfortability does not always equal growth. There's actually a great Denzel Curry quote. I actually have the exact quote pulled up here. Uncomfortability builds growth. That's the main thing that I learned about it. In order for me to grow, I need to be uncomfortable as hell with everything. And then the other person that's interviewing him asks him, do you think that makes your music relatable in some way? And he says, absolutely. So we're not talking about music today, but I just really enjoy that sort of quote in that little interview. I recommend that you guys go watch it, about motivation and all that sort of great stuff. But I think that it brings up a great point. If you're simply always comfortable with what you're doing, you're never going to be able to grow. You know, for example, if you're somebody like a Michael Jordan and you are simply always playing against kindergartners, you are never going to be able to grow. You're never going to be able to simply be better at the game. You're always going to be stuck at that same level if you are not challenging yourself. That also comes with stepping outside of your comfort zones and always making sure that you're trying new things in some way. Once again, it doesn't have to be every single little thing that you do. I want you to be comfortable in some aspects of your life, but don't be afraid to try that new game. Don't be afraid to try something different when it comes to your favorite restaurant. That's what I always tell people to start out with. If you are concerned about not being able to practice those things, just don't order the fucking wings every single time you go out to eat. I need to learn this. But the thing is, it's like, try out the chicken wrap, you know, try something different. For once, it's not going to kill you, and you may end up loving it. And I just think that that's a great way to sort of get yourself introduced to trying new things and overall stepping outside your comfort zones when it comes to just life in general. Another big thing when it comes to stepping outside of the comfort zone for me was actually sort of this series in general. For the people that don't know, before Point C was primarily only Funny Moments gaming videos. And over the last 6 months or so, we've really changed that. And part of that was a bit of a risk. I had no idea if this was going to succeed. I didn't know if you guys were going to like this. Thankfully, you guys are absolutely loving it. I want to say thank you for that. But the important thing is like, don't be afraid to take risks in your professional life too. And I don't mean quit your job tomorrow and start a music career. I more mean don't be afraid to, try new things. Try things that you didn't think would work. If you asked me 2 years ago when I was making zombies videos, if I was going to be playing VR and talking to you guys about motivation and shit, I would have told you absolutely not. But here we are, and we're having an absolute blast doing it. And I just want to say that I absolutely appreciate you guys and all the support that you've given me, because that's partially the reason that drives me, right? That sort of shows you that stepping outside of your comfort zone was a good idea. Are you enjoying it? Are you able to grow? What are the things that are changing around inside of your life that make it easier to sort of continue on this path where you're constantly stepping outside your comfort zone and you're trying new things? And I honestly think that this is something that in general, a lot of people are not doing. When I talk to people, they talk about how they don't want to try new foods. They don't want to do these things, and just don't be afraid to do it. There's nothing that's stopping you. Once again, the worst thing that is probably going to happen, for example, when it comes to food, is you're not going to like it. When it comes to a new video game franchise, it's $60, man. Like, I get it. It's a lot of money, but at the same time, it's only $60, and you can always return it in some cases even. And what can also help is trying to find things that both you and your friends maybe have not tried, whether if that is something like food or a video game or whatever it may be. Try it together, man. That can make life so much easier if you have a sort of support group that is able to help you when it comes to trying new things. This is a very different experience. I played Resident Evil 4 many, many times, but this is my first time playing it in VR, and it was a bit of a challenge, as you're going to see here. But once again, I just want to reiterate to make sure to try new things. No matter what those things are, I think that it's overall going to help you and your mental health. Being complacent all the time can sometimes even lead to depression, and it can kind of leave your body in this sort of mellow state. And the reason for this is because our bodies are made to adapt, they are made to grow, and they are not made to simply be complacent and do the same thing every single day, no matter what that task may be. That can be your job, whatever it may be. Our bodies are not designed to simply be complacent and do the same thing. And that makes sense when you think about how our ancestors lived, with how sort of there was a constant fear of predators and all those sort of great things. We don't have those, but what can be a predator is trying out new things. Our predator can be buying that new game. That predator can be asking our boss for that raise. That predator can be things that we are uncomfortable with. But once again, uncomfortability builds growth. And I feel like you can kind of see me growing throughout this gameplay here, which is also kind of why I chose it, is that I was constantly struggling here because this was one of my first VR experiences. I've gotten way better, and also I think that I'm going to be making more VR content down the road. But the point is, right, is that you can't simply sit there and be complacent with who you are. You have to always be able to grow, and I think about that in my industry all the time. This industry is constantly changing with new people coming up on the horizon, new technology coming out on the horizon, all these new things. For example, if I was still editing how I was 3 years ago in Premiere, we would still be at 50 subs. It's about learning, it's about growth, it's about stepping outside your comfort zone. Not every single thing that you do, you are going to love. And what's important is that you need to be able to sit down, figure out those things that you are comfortable with doing, and how you're going to use that to grow as a person, as a man, whatever it may be. Grow your brand, grow your person. Whatever you may be, you're going to use these uncomfortable moments to simply grow and to be a better person in the end. Another great idea is that if you're looking for ways on how to step outside of your comfort zone, if you are somebody that likes to cook, try cooking something new, something that you haven't cooked before. That can be an absolute challenge, and I think that can be an absolutely fun way to step outside your comfort zone, because once again, that is something that can be quite challenging. One of my personal favorites is try making pizza from scratch. I mean, making the dough, making everything, making the sauce. Just kind of learn. If you're somebody that doesn't cook all the time, just try something like that. You can learn a new skill out of it, and it's a really fun story. One time I made gnocchi, and it was an absolute mess, and let me tell you, it is a fun story for me, about me trying something new that I haven't done before at that point. Once again, I just recommend everybody try something new. Not tonight, not today, but I challenge you to this week. I want you to try something new, whether if that's a new food, a new game, cooking something new, maybe a new exercise, whatever it may be. I want you to sit down, pick out something that you've been dying to try, something that you have been telling yourself, I want to try it, but you have been not trying it because you're afraid to take that risk. I want you to stop, sit down, make a plan, and I want you to actually take that risk this week. That is my challenge to you. It's the new year. I want you to take that risk, jump headfirst into it, and just try it. Anyways, boys, I hope that this video has been helpful. I really appreciate every single one of you guys. Once again, it has been an absolutely amazing year with you guys. And it's crazy to think that it's already 2024 and it's going to be an even better year. We have so much planned for you guys. As you guys already saw that the Halo Marathon started this week, it's going to be continuing in. This Saturday is the delayed Christmas special because of all the things that I mentioned at the start of the video. But anyways, boys, I also just want to say thank you all so much for joining me on this journey, and I hope that you guys are enjoying the new format. And I also want to announce one more thing for Life Advice. Life Advice, previous episodes and new episodes moving forward are going to be aired here on YouTube. They are also going to be aired on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. You're going to be able to find them there now. And I really hope that that helps some of you guys just listening on the road, whatever it may be. Anyways, boys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Once again, I just want to say, if you enjoyed the video, go down there, hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss out on a single video that we post. Hit that like button. That way we know that you guys are enjoying the content. And once again, I just want to say thank you all so much for this amazing year. And I can't wait to see what the year brings on for us. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful day and peace.